Hello Primary 5 students, welcome back to Close-Up A1 Plus. In today's video we are going to cover Unit 3, Lesson 3, the grammar part, the second part in our grammar. Okay, so in your student book it will be page 37 and in your workbook it will be page 21. Our grammar rule today is the present continuous tense. So you have to learn how to form affirmative sentences, negative sentences, and how to form questions using the present continuous tense. Also, you have to know when to use the present continuous. Now let's start. I want you to tell me what is the difference between these two examples. I walk to school, I am walking to school. I walk to school and I am walking to school. What is the difference? Yeah, I can hear you. The first one is in the present simple. Why? Because I'm talking about a habit. It means that I usually walk to school. It doesn't mean necessarily that at this moment I'm walking, okay? But the second one, I am walking to school. Excellent. It's in the present continuous tense. Why? Because here I'm talking about something that is happening now. It means at this moment I am walking to school. So how we form the present continuous tense? The present continuous is made from the present tense of the verb be and the ing form of a verb. What does it mean? What is the present tense of the verb be? The present tense of the verb be is am or is or are. Am, is or are. This is the verb to be in the present. And the ing form of the verb means that I have to add ing to the verb, just like for example here walk becomes walking. I added ing to walking, and before the verb, okay, I used one of verb to be forms in the present, which is am or is or are. So miss, when do we use am and when do we use is and when do we use are? It depends on what? Of course, it depends on the subject of the sentence. The subject of the sentence. If the subject of the sentence is I, so I will use am. You know, of course, that we start our sentence in English with the subject. So if the sentence started with I will use am. If the subject of the sentence is one of these, he or she or it, I will use is. So I will say he is or she is or it is. If the subject of the sentence is one of those, which is you, we, they, then I will use are. I will say you are, we are, they are. Let's look at the examples above. I'm walking to school. Here, what happened to the verb walk in order to be in the present continuous? First, the first step, we use one of the forms of the present tense of the verb be, am or is or are. Because the subject is I, we used am, then I added ing to the verb, so it becomes I am walking. I walk becomes I am walking. Excellent. Now, let's have some examples and try to form the verbs into present continuous. Okay, so I have between brackets here, I have the verb and I have to change the verb into present continuous. The first example, I drink milk. So what I am supposed to do in order to change drink into present continuous, two steps you have to follow. Get one of verb to be forms am, is or are, then add ing to the verb. One, verb to be, two, verb ing. So I will take, excellent, am, drink will be drinking, so it will be I am drinking milk. I am drinking milk. Okay. The second one, I have the subject here, he, and the verb work. How I change it into present continuous? Two steps. Verb to be, verb ing. Verb to be plus verb ing. So which one should I use? With he it will be is. He is working. Excellent. He is working. 3. She is the subject and I have between brackets right. So in order to change it into present continuous, it will be she's writing. Excellent. Two steps. Verb to be plus verb ing. It jump will be It's jumping. Excellent. The subject you and the verb is play, so it will be you are playing. Excellent. The subject is they and the verb is sleep, so it will be they are sleeping. The subject is we and the verb is stay, so it will be we are staying. Remember, 2 steps to form the present continuous. You have to get verb to be, am, is or are plus verb ing. Now let's move to the negative form. How we make negatives in the present continuous tense. We make negatives by putting not or the contraction after am, is or are after verb to be. So if I give you example here, I am studying English now. How I change it into negative? All I have to do is to add not after verb to be. So I am studying English now. Here is verb to be am. So I am will be I am not. I'm not studying English now. I am not studying English now. Excellent. So the second example, she is traveling a lot these days. I want it to be in the negative. How should I change it? She is will be. Excellent. She isn't. She is will be. She isn't traveling a lot these days. The last one, the last example, they are doing their homework at the moment. So I want to change it into negative. It will be they aren't. They are will be they aren't doing their homework at the moment. How we form questions in the present continuous? We make questions by putting am, is or are in front of the subject. For example, he is studying English now. To change the sentence into question, you have to put verb to be in front of the subject. So the question will be, is he studying English now? Is he studying English now? I put verb to be in front of the subject. Verb to be subject plus verb ing. So if I'm going to form WH word question using what, I will say what is he doing now? What is he doing now? I will put also verb to be in front of the subject. A second example, I'm speaking on the phone. I'm speaking on the phone. To change it into question, it will be are you speaking on the phone? Verb to be will be in front of the subject. And WH question will be what are you doing? What are you doing? So always remember the form of a question in present continuous will be am, is, are plus the subject plus verb with ing and the rest of the sentence. And finally, when do we use the present continuous? We use the present continuous for actions that are happening now at the time of speaking. For example, the firefighters are putting out the fire now. 2. Actions that happen around the time of speaking. For example, I'm reading a lot of books at the moment. Number 3, for temporary situations. For example, my dad isn't driving to work this week. He is sick. So it means that my dad usually drive to work, but this week it's a temporary situation. He's not driving. That's why I'm using the present continuous. So again, we use the present continuous for actions that are happening now, actions that happen around the time of speaking, and temporary situations. Note here that we often use phrases like now, nowadays, these days, this week, this month, and at the moment with the present continuous. And note also that there are some verbs we don't use the present continuous with them, just like have, like, love, know, and think. These verbs aren't used in the present continuous. Whenever I am going to use them, I will use the present simple. For example, I can say I am loving my dad. I will say I love my dad. Okay? Now open your student book page 37, exercise G. Add the missing verbs to the text. You will read this text and you will try to write the missing verbs.
Remember the present continuous, how we form it? We use a verb to be, which is am, is, are plus verb ing. So read this text carefully and try to write the missing verbs. Stop the video and come back when you finish. Now let's check your answers. You can observe the inhabitants in their everyday routines. A couple, excellent, a couple are getting married in the church. A firefighter is putting out a fire. Children are having fun at the fair. Ladies and gentlemen are watching a horse race, and fishermen are arriving on their boats. A couple are getting, a firefighter is putting out fire, children are having fun, fishermen are arriving on their boats. Exercise H. Look at the verbs you inserted in the text in G. Choose the correct options to complete the rules. Here are the rules, okay? In order to complete them, go and check your answers in exercise G and try from them to complete the rules here. You have 1 minute to finish the exercise. Pause the video and come back when you finish. Now, are you ready to check your answers? The first one, we make the present continuous with the verb be, am, are, is, or do, which is do and does. So we make the present continuous with the verb be, which is am, or is, or are. Then we add s, or we add ing to the end of the main verb. We add, excellent, ing to the end of the main verb. The second sentence, we use the present continuous to talk about things that happen every day, or we use the present continuous to talk about things that we can see, hear, etc. at the moment. Yeah, we use it, the present continuous, to talk about things that we can see, hear, etc. at the moment. Number 3, the key word for the present continuous is now or always. The key word for the present continuous is now. Exercise I. Take the sentences that contain the present continuous. So you will read these sentences and you will take the one that are in the present continuous tense. Remember, the present continuous is, we form it from am, is, are, verb to be plus verb ing. So read them and take the ones that contains the present continuous. Stop the video and come back when you finish. Now let's check your answers. Which one of these are in the present continuous tense? Yeah, number 1, he isn't taking the bus to the supermarket. Number 2, excellent, what are the police doing at the school? Number 4, I'm not reading many books these days. And number 6, is she looking for the hospital? And number 8, you aren't helping very much. So in all these sentences I have verb to be, isn't taking, and the verb ing. What are the police doing? I have verb to be are and the verb ing. I'm not reading, I have verb to be plus verb ing. Is she looking for the hospital? I have verb to be and the verb with ing. You aren't helping very much, I have aren't and plus helping, which is the verb ing. Exercise J. Find 2 examples in I to complete the rules. So you will go back to exercise I, okay, and find 2 examples to complete the rules here. Rule number 1. The negative form of the present continuous is formed using am not, aren't, or isn't. For example, find 2 examples for this rule in exercise I. The second, the question form is formed by putting am, are, or is in front of the subject. For example, you have to give me 2 examples for this rule. You have 1 minute to finish this rule. Stop the video and come back when you finish. Now let's check your answers. The negative form of the present continuous is formed by using am not, aren't, or isn't. For example, he isn't taking the bus to the supermarket. 2. You aren't helping very much. The second rule, the question form is formed by putting am, are, or is in front of the subject. For example, 1. What are the police doing at school? 2. Is she looking for the hospital?
Now let's read the grammar reference on page 163. So open your student book page 163 and let's read the grammar reference together. The present continuous, the affirmative form, I am, or between brackets the contraction I am visiting, he is visiting, she is visiting, it is visiting, we are visiting, you are visiting, they are visiting. So that's the affirmative form. Am is are plus a verb ing. The negative form, I am not visiting, he isn't visiting, she is not visiting, it isn't visiting. We aren't visiting, you aren't visiting, they aren't visiting. So the negative form is am not, is not, am not, isn't, aren't plus a verb ing. How we form a question in the present continuous? We said that we start our question with verb to be. Am I visiting? Am I visiting? Verb to be plus subject plus verb ing. Am I visiting? Is he visiting? Is she visiting? Is it visiting? Are we visiting? Are you visiting? Or are they visiting? So I start with verb to be, then comes the subject, then the verb ing. Verb to be plus subject plus verb ing. That's how we form the question. So how we answer yes or no questions? Yes, if I told you, are you visiting your aunt are you visiting your aunt now? Yes, I am, or no, I'm not. Is she visiting her uncle? Yes, she is, or no, she isn't. Are they having a party? Yes, they are, or no, they aren't. Okay? Now let's move to the spelling rule. How we add the ing to the verb? Number 1. If the verb ends with e, just drop the e and add ing. So have will be having. We will drop the e and add ing. Another example, make will be making. Excellent. I will drop the e and add ing. Number 2, if I have a one-syllable verb that ends in a vowel plus consonant. I have one-syllable verb, it ends with I have vowel, then comes the consonant at the end. So what should I do? I will double the last letter and add ing, so get becomes getting. Another example, run. Yeah, it's one-syllable verb. I have what? Consonant, vowel, consonants. So before the last letter I have only one vowel, so I'll double the last letter, which is N, then I'll add ing, so run will be running. I double the N, then I added ing. Then if so for the rest of the verbs, just like study, watch, whatever, just add ing at the end. Study, studying, play, playing, watch, watching, and so on. When do we use the present continuous? When do we use the present continuous? We use the present continuous for actions that are happening now at the time of speaking. For example, the firefighters are putting out the fire now. Second, actions that happen around the time of speaking. For example, I'm reading a lot of books at the moment. 3. Temporary situations. For example, my dad isn't driving to work this week, he is sick. It's a temporary situation. He usually drives to work, but this week is an exception. Because he's sick, he isn't driving to work. So, when do we use the present continuous? You have 3 situations to use the present continuous in. Actions that are happening now at the moment of speaking, actions that happen around the time of speaking, and with temporary situations. Okay? Here I have a note. We often use phrases like now, nowadays, these days, this week, this month, and at the moment with the present continuous. So whenever you see one of these phrases, you have to know that we are talking about the present simple. What are the key words for the present simple? Now, nowadays, these days, this week, this month, and at the moment. Okay? Another notification. We don't use the present continuous with verbs like have, like, love, know, think. We don't use the present continuous with these verbs. Actually, we use the present simple with them. So it's not correct to say I am liking, for example, I'm liking fish. It's incorrect. Or I'm loving you. Incorrect. I will say I love you. I like fish. He knows everything. He thinks that you are right. Okay?
The next exercise, exercise K, complete the dialogues with the present continuous. So you will complete this dialogue and make sure to use the present continuous form for the verb that is given between brackets. Okay, you have 1 minute to finish the exercise. Stop the video and come back when you finish. Now, are you ready to check your answers? Number 1. A. What book are you reading at the moment? What book are you reading at the moment? B. I read Oliver Twist. Well, B. I'm reading Oliver Twist. Excellent. Can Jolly come to my house? Can Jolly come to my house? B. No, sorry. She, between brackets, do her homework. She is doing her homework. She's doing her homework. 3. A. Where are your parents? B. They are walking into the town center right now. 4. Where is your brother? B. He is making a cake in the kitchen. So I am reading, she's doing, they are walking, he is making. Exercise L. Read the exam close-up, then look at these prepositions from C. Are they preposition of time or place? The exam close-up, let's read it together. Using prepositions. In the exam, there is a short text with 8 spaces. There are 3 options for each space. Often the gap in the text needs a preposition. After choosing an answer, check the other 2 options and decide why they are wrong. What does it mean? In this part of the exam, you will have a short text, just this is the text. In the text, you have about 8 spaces. Each space will need a preposition. Often it will need a preposition. And you will have 3 options for each one. For example, number 1, the answer could be at or in or on. You have 3 options. You have to choose the correct answer first. After that, decide why the other 2 options are wrong. Okay? Now, let's read the prepositions from C. Behind, in front of, near, next to, on, opposite, under. Are they preposition of time or place? Are these prepositions of time or place? Yeah, they are prepositions of place. Excellent. Exercise M. Now complete the exam task. Read a student's description of a painting. Choose the best word, A, P, or C for each space. So what the text will be about? Yeah, the text will be about a painting. What is the title of the text? Yeah, the title is My Favorite Painting. Now I want you to look carefully at the options given for each gap. Can you tell me what parts of speech will go in the gaps? What parts of speech will go in the gaps? Okay, what parts of speech will go in the gaps? Excellent. For number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. Preposition will go for each gap. Number 6, verb, and number 8, a pronoun. Now you have to read the text very carefully. Okay? For each gap, remember, for each gap you have 3 options. You have to choose the correct answer, and after you choose the correct answer for each gap, decide why the other options are wrong. Okay? So Now, stop the video, go and start answering the exam task. Come back when you finish to check your answers. Now, are you ready to check your answers? Let's read together. My favorite painting. I love this painting of a village in winter because it's very different. It's very different from my town. Because it's very different from my town at this time of year. The painting is called Ice Skating in a Village, and it's by the Dutch painter Hendrik Everkamp. People are walking and chatting to each other on a frozen river in the center of the village. The scene is quiet but cold. Many people are skating and playing a game. There are simple houses next to the river, and boats aren't moving because the river is frozen. There is a wooden bridge in the background, and near it on the right there is a simple windmill. So excellent. Number 1 will be letter B, 2 letter A, 3 P, 4 go with letter C, 5 will go with letter A, 6 with letter C, 7 with letter P, 8 with letter A. Now I want you to underline the words that go with the preposition to form a complete phrase. So get your pen and start underline the words that go with the preposition to complete a phrase. Okay. Number 1, it's in winter. In winter. Excellent. Number 2, different from. Different from. Number 3, in a village. In a village. Number 4, chatting. Number 4, chatting to each other. Number 5, in the center of the village. Number 5, in the center of the village. Number 6 is a verb. Number 7, it will be next to the river. Next to the river. Number 8, it's a pronoun. Thank you.
Now let's move to our workbook. Open your workbook, page 20.
The next exercise, exercise C, complete the sentences with the correct present continuous form of these verbs. So you have to put these verbs in the present continuous form. Start answering, stop the video, come back when you finish. Now are you ready to check your answers? Number 1, I. Excellent. I'm putting my new clothes in my wardrobe. 2. We are leaving the library to go home right now. 3. He is making lunch for his family at the moment. 4. Are you doing your homework now or after dinner? 5. They are not talking to each other these days. 6. Why is it raining so much today? I want the sun. Exercise D. Choose the correct answer. Number 1. I can talk. We space an exam at the moment. We are not having an exam at the moment, or we're having an exam at the moment. I can talk. Yeah, I can talk. So we are having an exam at the moment. 2. Lisa space for work at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Lisa are leaving for work at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, or Lisa is leaving for work at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Excellent. Lisa is leaving for work at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. 3. They is watching a program on TV right now. They are watching a program on TV right now. It will be excellent there. They are watching a program on TV right now. 4. I'm telling you the story, but you aren't listening, or you are listening. Excellent. I'm telling you the story, but you are not listening. 5. Space in the evenings these days. You are studying in the evenings these days. Are you studying in the evenings these days? The correct answer is, are you studying in the evenings these days? Because it's a question. 6. Space fun at the party. Are they having fun at the party, or they aren't having fun at the party? It will be, are they having fun at the party, because it's a question. Okay. Exercise E. Read the exam reminder and complete the exam task. Let's read the exam reminder together. Using prepositions, this part of the exam contains a short text with 8 gaps. Each gap has 3 options. The gaps sometimes need prepositions. After you choose your answer, read the sentence with the other 2 options to check that they are wrong. Okay? Now let's go back to the exercise. Read a student's description of a photograph. Choose the best word, A, B, or C for each space. So, the text is about a photograph, okay? Photograph. The title is My Favorite Photo. You will read it, and as usual, you have here 3 options for each gap. Choose the correct answer, and after that, read the sentence with the other 2 options in order to make sure that these are wrong answers. So stop the video and come back when you finish as usual. Are you ready to check your answers? Let's answer it. This is a photograph of the Brooklyn Public Library. It's near my aunt and uncle's house, so it's very easy to walk there. It's similar to some buildings in my hometown of Athens, and that's why I like it. There is a lot of space inside the building for reading books in peace and quiet. I often visit the library in the summer. Because this is when I stay with my aunt and uncle. Also, I really enjoy spending my free time reading books. There are many books on American history on the shelves. Which I enjoy reading the most. At the moment, I'm reading about the 18s in the United States. It's an interesting time, although many things today are different from that time in history. I think I prefer today, but it's still great to read about the past. Now, after finish, let's read the prepositions with the words in order to complete the phrase. Number 1, near my aunt or my uncle's house, near a house. 2, it's similar to some buildings. 3, it's a pronoun. 4, I often visit the library in the summer. The phrase is in the summer. I stay with my aunt and uncle, stay with somebody. I really enjoy spending. Number 6, it's a verb. Number 7, it's a verb too, okay. Number 8, it's a preposition, different from. Today are many things today are different from the time in the history. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Finally, you did it. You finished the grammar part in Unit 3. So thank you and bye-bye.